President Trump, of course, making some demands of our European counterparts, but two former occupants of his office thought it was necessary, of course, to take shots, veiled, thinly veiled, at our commander-in-chief.
I view the role of the United States as very important. The truth of the matter is the way the world is today, that if the U.S. takes the lead, others tend to follow.
Do you really want to say, we're going to make everybody have a big military, but we're not going to help anybody build their own future and change their own lives? I don't think so.
That's right. The new best buds, George W. Bush, Bill Clinton, scolded the current president for essentially doing what they could not, or did not, would not take NATO to task for their decades of free riding on the United States. To discuss the latest edition of The Globalists Striking Back, let's bring in Dinesh D'Souza, whose new documentary, Death of a Nation, comes out August 3rd. Everyone's very excited. His book as well. Dinesh, it's a little low, I think, isn't it, to take shots at the president while he's abroad even? You know, we know what they were talking about. They didn't mention him by name, but come on.
Well, the very fact that two guys who ran against each other from opposite parties can come together like this shows how Trump has changed the political cartography, the whole map of international relations. Now, in a sense, this should have been done in 1992 when the Soviet Union collapsed, because the whole NATO alliance was assembled for the purposes of anti-communism. In fact, some of it even goes back to World War II. The reason we pay for the defense of places like Germany and even Japan is we were afraid of those countries remilitarizing in the way that they did in the 30s and 40s. So an accounting, a re-examination is long overdue. It took an outsider, Trump, to do it, and to watch these old geezers complain about it. These guys have been like toy soldiers who walk into the wall and keep going. The examination was overdue in their time, and it's happening finally now.
Well, Pat Buchanan was on radio with me, I guess it was yesterday, and he said, look, the days of the open border, endless trade deals with no amendments, that day is over. Endless wars, those days are over. So it's the last gasp in many ways of that old political establishment that was a bipartisan cabal in many ways, really geared against the people, weren't listening to the people. And look, they were both two-term presidents, but on the issue, the blue-collar issues that we care about, manufacturing, jobs, trade, immigration, they were both total disasters.
Well, what I find amusing is people focus on the injustice of illegal immigration to people, to natives, to people in America. But I'd like to point out the injustice of illegal immigration to legal immigrants. I'm a legal immigrant. It took me several years to go through the immigration process. Many of us don't come from countries where you can just jump over a wall or swim across a river. It's very difficult to get to America, and there's a line. So the illegal immigrant is actually jumping the line against the interests of the legal immigrant who's standing in line. That aspect of the injustice of it has rarely been pointed out. The Democrats, and we see this also with Clinton and Bush, they're conflating legal and illegal immigration as if they amount to the same thing.
Oh, he did that. He did that all day long at that event in Arkansas. And George W. Bush, again, a very nice man. I like him personally, but he just gets it wrong on immigration every single time, but he's just utterly confident. He throws out words like nativism, isolationism, protectionism. They just trip off his tongue without any reference to the current political dynamic. And Dinesh, this is what he said today, or yesterday, I guess, about the immigration issue.
I'm disturbed by the debate that's taking place because I think it undermines the goodness of America.
So, Dinesh, you're a bad person if you don't agree with the Bush more open borders, amnesty plus idea of the world. You're a bad person. That's very Christian.
I mean, this immigration debate is so filled with cliches. Most of these cliches happen to be wrong. Even the people who say that America was, in a sense, created by immigrants, that's a half-truth. America was actually a country created by settlers. Settlers are the people who create the original country that immigrants subsequently want to move to. Immigrants are attracted by the kind of society that settlers build. They find it preferable to their own society. That's why they immigrate. But that distinction, again, is often lost by people who say America was created by immigrants.
Dinesh D'Souza, looking forward to your film. Thank you so much for being with us.